The man never imagined that one day his prized Godspeed ability would be defeated in a single move. Even more unbelievable, the person who beat him was someone with the city's most mocked class, Fruit Master. The scene shocked everyone, because in this world, each person can eat only one skill fruit in their lifetime, and the protagonist's ability was nothing more than ripening fruit, a completely useless skill in everyone's eyes. But what nobody knew was that this ability had a hidden effect. It granted immunity to all skill fruit side effects, which meant, while everyone else could only eat one fruit, he could eat as many as he wanted. That was the real cheat ability. Not long ago, the protagonist secretly ate a second skill fruit and awakened the sword god ability. After gaining power, the first thing he did was look for his childhood friend Lena. He wanted to form a party with her, but to his surprise, she pretended not to know him. The protagonist was completely stunned. It's only been 2 months, you already forgot about me? But the truth was far more complicated. That night, while drinking alone in a tavern, he discovered that Lena had secretly followed him. It turned out, she hadn't forgotten him at all. She was protecting him. The Saints party she belonged to looked glamorous on the surface, but in reality, every member was a complete scumbag. Every mission they undertook left massive destruction behind, yet they never took responsibility. And whenever complaints reached the higher-ups, the answer was always the same. History only remembers their achievements. In other words, they could do whatever they wanted. If Lena became associated with the protagonist, she would only drag him into trouble. That was why she chose to pretend not to know him. After hearing this, the protagonist fell silent. Then he extended the invitation once again. Join my party. But Lena still refused. She turned and walked away. The next day, she went directly to the blonde-haired captain and requested to leave the party. The result was simple. She was violently put in her place. The blonde captain sneered, "You may be a sword saint, but you'll never touch me." His ability was Godspeed. In his eyes, there was no way Lena could escape him. He even slapped her across the face before saying something utterly disgusting. "Your only job is to be the face of this party." At that moment, Lena completely lost hope. The following day, the Saints party left the city for a mission. Citizens lined the streets to cheer them on, and right in the middle of the road, the protagonist stood waiting. Once again, he extended his hand. "Come with me." Lena still refused, but by now, the protagonist understood. The problem wasn't Lena. The problem was the blonde captain. So he issued a challenge, a duel. The rules were simple. If he won, Lena would be set free. If he lost, he would leave town forever and never become an adventurer again. At first, the blonde captain looked down on him, but then the protagonist casually mocked him. "What? Afraid you'll lose?" That single sentence set him off completely. The duel began. The blonde captain instantly activated Godspeed and swung his sword toward the protagonist. Everyone thought the fight was already over, but in the very next second, the protagonist caught the attack, and he did it effortlessly. The entire crowd fell silent. Unfortunately, his weapon was just an ordinary worn-out sword. After several exchanges, it snapped in half. The blonde captain smirked. "You can still surrender." He even offered a condition. "If Lena swears obedience to me, I'll spare your life." Hearing that, the protagonist almost laughed. Then he did something completely ridiculous. He borrowed a brush from a passerby. The crowd burst into laughter. The blonde captain was furious. To him, this was the ultimate insult. But at that moment, the protagonist's true cheat ability activated. Sword God. In an instant, his entire presence changed. The next second, everything was over.